Hi guys, my name is Zmarie here with Heart4art Live. Today we're going to be learning how to draw our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. So get your sketch pad and your pencils and let's get started. Alright guys, so let's get started. Go ahead and grab your sketch pad and your pencils and let's go ahead and get started on drawing our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. So let's jump on over to our sketch pad and let's get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started on drawing our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. So if you look at your reference photo, you can see that it's kind of like clouds here in the back. So I'm just going to start kind of going left to right. So I'm going to start up here where my clouds are, and I'm going to get that first outline. Okay. And try your best to get it as even as possible so you don't have to come back to it. But of course, you know, it's however you want to draw. It doesn't have to be exactly like the reference photo. So, okay. Again, it's kind of a basic draft. And if you miss a few loops and stuff here and there, it's okay. Okay. So just trying to get my basic outline for the clouds. And as you can see, some are lower than the next, so that does help it look more realistic. So there's not like one specific shape of clouds. So if you do that, it will help it look a little bit more realistic. So I would suggest you try and, you know, have different shapes throughout as well. Okay. And I'm going to leave a little gap here because we can see like the tree is kind of combining right there. So I'm going to leave a little gap and come to about right here. And the picture, it can look kind of detailed, but if we go like step by step with it, then we can get it all done around the same time. So just trying to give ourselves a basic outline. In some parts you may have to leave gaps for the mountains and all of that as well. Mountains and trees. So I'm going to leave a gap there. Okay, and I'm going to come over here and start on my other clouds on the right side. Like this. Trying to get it as close as I can, just so all my shapes and, you know, stuff won't be off from each other. So I'm trying to just get it as close as a reference as I can. But of course, as I always say, you can do it, you know, however you want to do it. Okay. And go into the clouds down here. I'm going to come and start mine here. Okay, I'm going to come about right here, do those two, and then I'm going to come out here and do this full cloud. Okay. Then I'm going to put it here in the corner, like that. Alright, now let's look around on our picture and see what part we want to do next. The next part I would say is come back to the left. And you can see it's like a tree kind of going into the clouds, like coming off of the mountain. So that's going to be the next part that we're going to do right here. So I'm going to start right here in the far left corner and do this first plant. Just trying to get all of our basic outlines. You can always come back and correct anything that you may see is a little off or not the way that you wanted it to be. You can always come back and correct that as well. Okay, just trying to give us like a basic plant shape there. And then we're going to come here and get the taller tree. And it kind of looks like the same shapes of the clouds, but it's slightly different because they're closer. So just kind of keeping that basic format there. I'm just trying to get all the little lines and stuff that are in it as well. And we can always come back and add some more detail. Like I said, just get a basic outline when you're first starting off your drawing. Okay. Gonna connect that like that. And we see there's like a little branch coming from the bottom. So we're gonna do that like that. Okay. And then we're gonna come right here where we stop the branch, and we're gonna go up and start drawing our mountains. Gotta draw it kind of left to right. Okay, gonna give it like a little crack kind of part right there. Then come about midway, draw the other part. Bring it down. Okay, now I'm gonna come back to my left and try and finish this part of the mountain. Okay. Now let's keep going like this, and then we'll get the bottom. So let me continue up here where we have our mountain. So I'm gonna just stop the line about right here, and it's gonna go further down, but I'm gonna just kind of stop it there. And then we're gonna come here and do our waterfall. So we're gonna go about halfway right here and start on the waterfall. Like this. And as we can see, you can see the water lines and all of that, so we'll make sure that we get that as well. We're gonna go on down with that. And now is where we can take this line on down. Go on down and down, about right there, okay? And we'll come back and do the water lines and all of that. Let's go ahead and get our basic mountain shapes. So, gonna do this like this. You can do it whatever shape you want it to be. Okay, we're gonna go down to about where these lines are there and stop. And come here, you see this tiny kind of mountain here. We're gonna draw that. Like that and stop. Good. Okay, now up here you can see there's like another small kind of tree. So we're gonna come here and go ahead and draw that, just so we won't miss it. Okay. And just like basic kind of squiggle lines, or like up and down. Alright, I'm going to do the little line here in that tree. Now we're going to come here to this side, and you see it's kind of like hills, so we'll go ahead and do that hill. So come about right here, kind of halfway of your previous mountain that you drew, and do your first up for the hill. Then you're going to go a little higher and bring it on down. Then when we get to the bottom, we're going to swoop it out like that. And then we're going to come here and get our other part of the hill, and going to go straight down and stop. Okay, and you can see right here there's a tiny mountain before a tree, so just do a little line and stop. Alright, now come right here, because you can see there's more clouds here in the back behind the mountain. So come right here and start drawing your clouds. And do it whichever way you want it to do. If you want it to look exactly like the reference, then just try and follow the closest shapes that they actually have on that reference photo, okay? So let's do it like this. Just trying to get us a basic shape outline, and we can go back and add any more details that we may want to add or change. I'm going to stop that there. So just in case we want our tree to come here or here, we have both of those options, okay? Which I'm probably going to do it going more this way. So we'll see when we get to that part. Okay, now I'm going to draw my other cloud. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to leave a space for the tree, so about right there. And continue our cloud. Okay. And of course you can see mine is a little bit different, so that's like you can do it, you know, the way that you want the clouds and all of that to kind of come together. So that's completely up to you. Alright. Just adding a few lines here in between where we have the clouds. And we see over here we have like a small mountain kind of in the corner. So we're going to kind of do those plants that are on the mountain over here on your right side. Okay. Just trying to get the basic stuff like simple things like trees and plants. We can go ahead and do that. Alright. And then you see there's a little mountain coming out of the leaves. I'm going to stop there, go out, and stop there. So we got space for our tree. Then we're going to do this other plant here. Alright, so now the next part that we need to do is obviously just come back over here to your left where you see the different trees. So we can kind of have a basic format left to right. So let's come over here to our left. And we're going to do that tree that we see in the corner. Like this. Okay. Got it? Then we're going to come here and start doing the trees that are coming out of this plant or bush right here, okay? So we're going to do our first tree. So just trying to get us the basic outline. So like I said, you can make it look, you know, however you want it to look, okay? Alright guys, so we're going to pause right there. We're going to go on over to commercial break, so don't go anywhere. Come right back so we can finish up our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. So see you in a second.
Tired of your bland wardrobe? Well, spice things up with Wood Prosper's customizable t-shirts in 3 easy steps. First, go to zmarie.com and click the Wood Prosper logo. Then select Create Your Own, and lastly, import your own design or use the ones we pre-made for you. You can even customize mugs, hats, jackets, and so much more. So head on over to zmarie.com and click on Wood Prosper today and get your designs noticed.
Alright guys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump back on over to our sketch pad and let's continue where we left off on our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. So let's jump on back over and let's continue where we left off. Okay guys, so we're going to just finish where we left off before the commercial break. We were over here doing our trees. So we're over here doing our first tree. So we're just going to continue that. And if some of the shapes or anything are off, we can always go back and correct that, okay? Okay. Now let's come on down below this. And let's go ahead and get the other bush that it has so we can have the other tree coming out. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop there. And we're going to get our second tree, which is a little taller. So we're going to start it about here and take it on up to about here. I'm doing the branch. Okay, and I'm doing the leaves. So we got 1, got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll add another one there. Okay. Now we're going to come down. You see there's a smaller one. Come to about right here. Do the branch. Now start a tree. Okay. Alright. And we can always come back and correct any lines that we see, that we don't want right there. Just trying to get us a basic format. Now we're going to get the plants down here on the bottom. So you do your line coming out for the middle of the plant, and then do your leaves. Just do one leaf each side. Left, right, left, right. And it's more of like a oval kind of circle leaves. So just go left to right. And we're going to go as far to the end as we can. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to start on down here. You see there's like a little kind of rock. So let's do the rock and then do the leaves behind the rock, okay? So come about here on the bottom of your leaf you just drew and do the rock. Okay. Right, we're just going to go all the way to the end there. Do the bottom. And as I always say, you can make it your own shape. So whichever way you want to do it, or however you want it to look, then you can do it that way as well. Just trying to get us a basic kind of rock shape, like a rough shape right here. Okay. Making sure we got all our little lines. Okay, then we're going to stop it there because you can see the tiger and all of that. So we're going to stop that rock right there. Then we're going to come up here and add our other plants. And we're going to go left, right, left, right. Okay, then we're going to do the one right beside it, which is like it's coming out of it. So come about right here and draw the other plant. And right to left on this one. So they're basically like kind of ovals or swivels to make those leaves, okay? Alrighty. And then you see we already did this part right here where it was like the kind of like a bush behind these plants right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that on down. And you see the little rock kind of starting on the end of the waterfall. You can start doing that now. It's kind of a smaller rock. Okay. Trying to get us a basic shape down here. I'm going to do the rock right next to it as it's coming up by the waterfall. To get us a basic shape, we're going to connect those together right there. like that. And down here, that's kind of like the water splashing down here on the bottom, so we'll get that when we actually do that waterfall. Let's just try and get our basic shapes around, and then we can go back and add detail, okay? So we're gonna come down here where you see the tiger, the rock, and we're gonna come here to the left. And we're gonna start drawing these flowers and stuff that we actually see down here. So, see the lines, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're gonna come right here and draw the petal to your flower. Just trying to get us a basic shape of the petal. Okay, then the little dots in the middle here. Got the 1, 2, 3. Trying to get it like the middle of the flower right there. Okay. And we can always come back and add a few more lines and details to the flowers if you ever want to. Let's just get us like a basic kind of format outline right here. So I'll make that a little more oval. Okay. And then we're going to draw the other flowers around it. I'm going to just go ahead and connect mine here to the bottom. Okay. Going to do the little dots in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to do the flower, this stem. I'm going to give this one right here a stem. Okay. And the little kind of lines you see is representing the grass. So we're going to give ourselves a few lines there. Okay. Now if you come about right here, you can see that's where we're starting to draw the tiger. So you can kind of go ahead and get like the back where we see it's on the back of the tiger. Okay. And then start our next plants around it right here. Okay, and get our flowers. Just trying to get us a basic shape that we can kind of work around, just so we'll know what's represented right here. Gonna bring this part in. Okay. And this one, instead of the dot circle, it just has one circle coming up. So we're going to do that right here. Okay, fix that little part. We're going to do the circle coming up. Okay, try and get some of those lines out of there. Okay, now we're going to go on down here, and you see some of those lines connect, and they have the lines. Let's go ahead and do that. Just add our lines in between on all of our flowers. Okay, now we're going to do this stem right here. And then just finish that flower off. And that pretty much wraps up what we're gonna be drawing on this specific episode. So yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the first part of our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. Alright guys, so that's pretty much wrapping it up for this week's episode of our interpretation of the Garden of Eden. Next time we're going to just try and finish it up a little bit more, but that pretty much, pauses us right there. But make sure you all go over to www.smicapp.com so you can actually click on Would Prosper and get your designs on t-shirts, mugs, sneakers, hoodies, and so much more. So make sure you go on over there and check that out, and that's SMICAPP, and that's smicapp.com. And also, don't forget to check out an awesome biblical art museum called ABAM Center, and that website is www.abamcenter.com. And last but not least, make sure you all check out our YouTube page. Just type in Heart, the number 4, Art as one word on YouTube, and go on over there and subscribe, because we also post our new episodes over there on our YouTube channel. So if you ever get behind on some of the tutorials, you can always watch them later. So I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in on today, and I look forward to seeing you all on our next Heart4art Live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you all come on back next week, and I'd love to see you all then. So have a great day. Have an awesome day, guys, okay?